Hey friends, it's me, Skeetlejuice. Welcome back to our third iteration of History by Daylight. Today we're deep diving into the guy with the bell, Philip Ojomo, the Wraith. One of the three original killers added to the fog, the Wraith has always been one of the sadder stories when it comes to his lore. Using his wailing bell to render himself invisible, the Wraith tracks his prey and strikes with little warning. Upon hearing the bell's fateful chime, survivors must think fast or suffer the consequences. A hit-and-run specialist, the Wraith is adept at keeping everybody injured. A stealth killer that makes his presence known by cloaking and uncloaking at the ringing of his wailing bell. Philip came to this country hopeful for a new beginning. He was happy as he settled in and was offered a job at Autohaven Wreckers, owned by Azarov. Azarov is a faceless character, but one fueled by evil. He not only owned Autohaven Wreckers, he was the head of a hitman business on the side, using Autohaven as a way to cover for the killings carried out there. Philip didn't care about the work he found. He was just happy to have a job. The Autohaven was a small scrapyard where bribed cops turned a blind eye for the questionable business that transpired there. This wasn't Philip's first brush with criminal activity. He had seen it up close and personal in his homeland, Nigeria, but let things be as long as he wasn't involved. One gloomy day, just by accident, he noticed blood coming from one of the uncrushed cars. He opened the trunk to be met with a young man, tied and gagged, panicking. He freed the man, who ran about 10 feet before he was met with Azarov in his wrath, slitting his throat. As Philip demanded answers, he slowly became aware of his involvement, unknowingly being made into a simple executioner. Every car he'd crushed had a soul inside, as this was the service Azarov had been providing to certain clientele. Distraught, and rightfully so, Philip went ballistic. Rage overtook him. He threw his boss into the crusher and let it slowly compress. As Azarov's head stuck out, Philip grabbed it and pulled the head and spine from the crusher. He then left and was never seen again. In Tome 4, we see Philip's past in quite a bit more detail. We see a depiction of him holding his lucky bell as he stares out into the growing dusk. With nightfall approaching, the monstrous creatures that hide in the darkness are far worse than anything his father had described around the campfire. He'd heard rumors of endless massacres, and that terrified him. He hoped his mother and father would return back to him soon. They had heard a broadcast on their radio promising safety to those who were hiding and left to investigate. He spent the entire day staring at the dirt road to his village, waiting to see their faces. A few people returned with wounds and stories. Endless stories of violence, chaos, and death. He has a conversation with his grandmother about who and what is causing the mayhem, wondering why they hate him and his people. She answers simply and curtly, "It's because you were born Nigerian." She tells him to watch the road, and if anyone or anything approaches, to ring the bell and hide with the others. Asking her if she thinks his parents will return, looking for a shred of hope in his grandmother's tired face, she answers honestly, "I don't think so, Philip. They're hiding." She returns into their home, and a tear rolls down Philip's cheek. He knows he'll never see his parents again. Later, we see a depiction of a younger Philip using gasoline to set sleeping men ablaze during the Nigerian Civil War. He knew they had hurt his family. They had taken his parents from him. He ended up getting burned as well, resulting in extensive scarring and disfigurement. The real question here is, was he in the wrong for what he did, avenging his parents and his loved ones, inflicting immense suffering on those who wronged him? Did he know any better? Or did he do it out of spite? Did he do it because he was angry? Was he any better than them? Philip is later mentioned in an event tome as well, The Midnight Grove, The Bell from Hell, a story dreamt up by Michaela Reed, where he's described as attacking teenagers and ending their lives. Set in an overgrown junkyard that many claimed had been haunted, a thick black fog covering the yard where the teens saw nothing but an iron bell. Strange and unlike anything they'd seen before, they were met face to face with a wraith. One of the teens met an unlucky fate, being slaughtered by the wraith. His sister watched in horror. After the brutality, she screamed until her lungs gave out and waited for the bell to toll. Philip Ojomo had many aliases in the game files, particularly being referred to as Banshee or Bob. His last name means change, freedom, or risk. He was one of the only two killers able to suffer from light burn. It's different from using a flashlight, firecracker, or flash grenade to blind the killer. Light burn was achieved by shining the light on any part of the killer's body, stunning them, and forcing them out of their ability. Lightborn did not spare them from the stun, since you could successfully blind and light burn them at the same time. The Wraith and the Nurse were the two that were hindered by this, but that game mechanic was taken out during patch 6.7.0 in 2023. Speaking of the Nurse, surprisingly, Philip and Sally are shipped by the community as a non-confirmed canon of them being romantically involved. While the devs have never confirmed this, we do believe in love around these parts. Some of their cosmetics were released at the same time during the Tragic Love Opera collection, which included an image of them dancing together, spurring the love rumors. They have no connections as far as their backstory goes, but since the entity's realm is a multiversal hub, these iterations of these characters had a romantic rendezvous in the fog. The Wraith's special perks, Predator, Bloodhound, and Shadowborn, are all excellent assists in tracking. Predator allows him aura reading when a survivor escapes a chase. Bloodhound takes the pools of blood from an injured survivor and makes them brighter, more visible, and longer lasting. Shadowborn showcases Philip's past as being a watchful eye in the darkness. After being blinded by any means, he gains haste, speeding his way into securing a victim. Philip's lore is one that truly saddens me. It shows how the entity is no stranger to suffering. It doesn't care if you were a victim at the hands of suffering, or if you were the one who caused it. It will take you all the same. I was so excited to deep dive into Philip Ojomo with you. This was Killer 2 of 40, the Wraith. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Until next time, thanks for watching.